What's up, everybody? It's Wiser here to review Monday Night Raw, January 11th edition, 2016. It's going to be kind of weird doing this on my own as I usually do it with my co host Blackjack. And we usually live stream it, but here I'm going to be doing a standalone review, mainly because he's watching Clemson in the Alabama game. And I'm watching it too, but yeah. So I'm not going to do like a full blown review because we're still going to cover it a little bit later. So I'm going to just gloss over a little bit of Raw right after I talk about this whole Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar thing. Now, before we get into it, I want to tell you guys this. I don't want to say that WWE is too predictable at this point. I want to more so say we're all too smart. You know, we get a little older. Once people start getting smartened up to the business a little bit, or you just start getting smartened up in general about what's going on with things, these things do become more predictable. And there's not necessarily too much of a way in which WWE can present us something that we know is going to happen differently than how it's going to happen. It's not on them too much. It kind of is on us because we just know shit too much. NXT does a good job of giving us something predictable yet still making it good. They also make it so that we have to question outcomes of things, but at the same point we more so know what's going to happen in the immediate future, but not necessarily the long-term future. WWE doesn't necessarily book for the long-term future. They book for the here and now, and they may set up some pieces for something that can happen later, but it is predictable in a sense that they only cater to specific top names. And that right there is the thing that makes it predictable. Just the simple fact that they only cater to the top names. Now, if they threw other names into the fold, we would have a little more to think about. But since they don't, we don't. And it makes it pretty easy for us to understand what's going on. Now, tonight's match, we had Samoan John Cena versus the world, or Roman Reigns versus the world. For those of you who don't know, John Cena's not injured. John Cena has repackaged himself. He's rebuilt himself into Samoan John Cena. So he's not hurt or anything like that. He's still here. He's still here, and he's the champion. He is officially the 17-time champion, if you guys didn't know that. But if you watch our show on a usual basis, you guys are smart to it. And we got a match here in which all of the heels that would be in the Rumble are going to be taking on Samoan John Cena here tonight. Now, I couldn't understand how this was going to happen, especially since Roman Reigns started coming out with his entrance at about 10:39. So I'm like, there's no way he could take on all of these guys. So what exactly are we going to do here? So by the time they come back from commercial and they actually start the thing, it's about 10:46 or 10:47. And you realize, okay, you include the overrun, you got about 20 minutes to work with. So obviously, he's not going to take on everyone. There's going to be a huge run-in. And with the seeds that were planted all throughout the show, you figured Brock would be coming in and cleaning house. So let's rewind a little bit and talk about Brock and what's going on there. I kind of like the way the McMahons are handling this whole Brock situation when it comes to Paul Heyman. Even though it's built by design, the entire thing was designed to have that run in here with to sort of kind of protect Roman Reigns. Well, let me not even say protect. To clean house. Clean house is a better way of putting it. But that's why this was set up. But the way it comes off, to me at least, or the way it should come off, even if they're not doing this, it would behoove him, Vince McMahon that is, to do something like this. Paul Heyman comes in and he says Brock doesn't want to be a part of the Royal Rumble. He wants the winner of the Royal Rumble at the biggest stage of them all, WrestleMania, because he is a prize fighter. Now, here's the thing. I don't know about y'all. I'm about tired of Brock being a prize fighter. In the sense of Brock showing up when he feels like it and only on the big stage or having the big match, not having to work for anything. He's not champion anymore, so he can't necessarily get away with that. So, at what point does the McMahons stand up to Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar? They have to get control of their company back. If not, Paul Heyman's pretty much just running the show when Brock's around. Or Brock is just running the show when Brock's around. But you're not supposed to be. The owners are. The chairman is. Stephanie McMahon, when Vince isn't there, is. Triple H is. And that's not the case when Brock's around. It's Heyman. So I saw this when they told Heyman, no, we're going to be putting Brock in the Royal Rumble. I don't care whether you like it or not. He's going to be in the Rumble. Now, I'm good with that because that's the McMahons getting their power back from Brock. Again, Brock's not champion. He can't call these shots. Prize fighter, big contract. So what? You're still an employee. We can put you in a jobber match if we want to. And it's about time that you put Brock in the ring with other guys so that other guys can get some type of anything from Brock. A la Sheamus and Del Rio on the house shows that they've had recently. Sheamus had a pretty good match against Brock on the house show, by the way. So, what that did in turn was you have Paul go back to Brock and tell him, hey, they want you in the Rumble. Brock doesn't like it. Brock's pissed. So you know that the McMahons have everything in their hands as far as with Roman Reigns. They got that whole thing under control. But the timing is not good because they've pissed off the beast Brock Lesnar. Now, if Brock wasn't there any other night, now I'm speaking in kayfabe land here. If Brock isn't there any other night, then the McMahons win this. But Brock is there and y'all pissed him off. So now he's going to come and clean up all of the jabronis that you sick at Roman Reigns. Makes sense. It's what they were setting up. You can see this coming a mile away. You don't even got to be smart to understand. It's foreshadowing. The crowd knew it as well because once we get to Roman Reigns getting the piss beat out of him, you got the entire crowd screaming out, "We want Brock, we want Brock." By the way, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, put on a damn good match. Put on a fine match. And I don't want to hear no leaks or anything about Vince saying that he really isn't getting a chance to see Kevin Owens. He doesn't see what it is about him or anything. You had front seat. Vince. You can see that man directly in front of your face. So close you could touch him. And that man put on a damn good match with Roman Reigns. I don't want to hear that he's not being noticed. I don't want to hear that he's not being noticed. The crowd was behind him. The crowd was behind the match. Crowd's chanting, "We want Owens." Not we want Owens. We want Reigns because Owens is getting heat on the guy. The crowd is reacting to everything that Owens is doing. The crowd's reacting to everything that Roman is doing. This is exactly what you want out of two guys like this. So, in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, so we start this thing out hot with Roman and Owens, but how are we going to get the other guys involved? It has to be a run-in because these guys are going to go the distance, which they did. They ended up going the distance and into the overrun. Roman Reigns finally gets the upper hand, in which he's going to set up for a spear or a Superman punch, and he gets running I think it was by Tyler Breeze first, somebody first. Oh no, the Ascension. Oh my God. The Ascension first. Get up on a ring apron together. And this had to be the most jobber Superman punch ever. Like, he Superman punched both of them at the same time. On some Three Stooges shit. You ever see Three Stooges? Just smacked them both at the same time. I'm like, oh my God, these dudes is nothing but jabrones. Straight up J-Brones, man. And, they go down and then huge running. So Roman Reigns, fights off a couple guys at first, and then they finally get the upper hand on them, and they start, everybody starts hitting like not their finishers, but like More so their big moves, super kicks, bro kicks, stupid shit like that. And it gets to the point where, he's pretty much just, he can't do anything. Can't do anything about it. I'm really looking forward to this Deadpool show that's coming out. I gotta see this. Looks pretty good. It gets to the point where there's nothing really much he could do. These guys have already all hit their finishers on him or their big moves. And, what more can you do but just, I don't know. So out comes Brock. Brock music hits as the crowd is chanting, "We want Brock." He comes in, suplexes everybody, starting with the New Day. And then he picks up Roman Reigns, or he drags him to the center of the ring. And I'm thinking, like, is he gonna help this guy up? And, like, is he gonna, like, help him up and give him, like, a handshake or something stupid like that? Then I thought, nah, this is Brock. He's gonna suplex his ass too. Well, much to my dismay, he hit enough suplexes, and now he wants to hit his finisher. So he takes out Roman Reigns with his finisher, stares at him. His finisher being the F5, that is. Stares at him, go back up the entrance ramp, and you see Roman Reigns with that laugh that he had at WrestleMania, just sitting there laughing. And Brock starts his laugh, not his Undertaker laugh, but close enough. That's his laugh as he's going up the ramp. And it's like, okay, so Reigns, what's the deal with you in this whole laughing gimmick when it comes to Brock? Like, is that his way of no-selling Brock? The whole thing there, I don't know. So it's got me wondering who's going to win this Royal Rumble. I say, I don't know. It's tough. I'm going to need more time to sit on this one. But, again, completely foreshadowed throughout the show that this was going to happen with Brock. And it's not that they're too predictable. It's the only thing they could have done, and we're just too smart. Simple as that. Okay, so here I'm going to briefly go over the results and some of the things that happened on Raw. Something big happened on this Raw that I'm going to review separately and talk about it a little bit, and that's with the U.S. title. But to start off Raw, we had the McMahons and just the whole entire entrance ramp apron gimmick thing up there was filled with wrestlers, jabrones, and things like that, things of the sort. And as Vince letting Roman Reigns know that he was going to be having him match later on tonight, 1 versus all. That's pretty much what you got out of this. And he says he doesn't know who it is that he was going to be taking on. Could be his friend. Well, Stephanie, I believe it was. I said it could be his best friend. And Vince is like, well, no. He has a match coming up next. And then Sheamus attacks him against Sheamus. Sheamus attacks him and he goes down to the ring. They have a pretty good match. Which ended with a double count out. Out comes Owens, attacks him. That whole thing that's been happening for a while now. It's a pretty heated feud. I like it. I like that Owens has fire behind him. I like that Dean is feeding off of it a little bit. Dean, to me, I can't get with the way Dean wrestles. I just can't. It just looks so amateurish. I can't get behind it. I'm sorry. Vince McMahon backstage. Well, Vince and Stephanie backstage, and they walk into Paul Heyman. We already went over that a little bit. Stardust versus Titus O'Neil. Titus wins clean with the Clash of the Titans. I think that's what it's called. Clash of the Titus. Nothing really, anything to talk about there. I guess they're still working that whole getting Cody back thing. You had the highlight reel with the Jericho and the New Day, which turned into a tag team match that Jericho pretty much set up because I guess Jericho could set up tag team matches with Big E and Kofi versus the Usos. And here's my question. Why doesn't Xavier ever participate in these 2-on-2 tag team matches? I mean, he used to in the beginning, but now he doesn't at all. It's a shame. And yes, Jericho is still, we're still doing this whole Rudy Tooty Booty thing. It's the only thing I'm going to say about it. That match ended with the Usos winning once Jericho broke the trombone of Xavier Woods, who he calls Javier. God, this man Javier. Broke his trombone. Kofi gets the distraction roll up. Here we go. Start out 2016 with Distraction Roll Up. We have a video package letting you guys know that Sting was going to be the first inductee for the 2016 Hall of Fame. Pretty good stuff there. And then up next, we have Alberto Del Rio versus Kalisto for the U.S. Championship. Two Mexicos going for the U.S. title. Excellent. Just before that, backstage, Kalisto had a nice little promo backstage, letting people know that this is just an honor for him to even get an opportunity to go for this title when guys that he's looked up to has held this title and have worn it with pride, including I Lie, I Cheat, I Steal, Eddie Guerrero. These two put on a hell of a match for me. Not saying like pay-per-view quality, main event, oh my God, not like that. They wrestled a very believable match. I don't really think there was much story to the match. I just enjoyed the match for what it is. A true, I want to say a David versus Goliath match, even though Kalisto got in a lot more offense than a David type of guy would. He held his own ground, and it didn't necessarily look like a fluke. And he didn't win with a fluke move either. He won with, I don't want to say his finisher, but a finisher, a move that could finish someone. But pretty good match here. I enjoyed it. Most of Twitter enjoyed it. And I'm going to be doing a review on that one on its own. Up next, we have Brie Bella with Alicia Fox versus Charlotte. That's with Ric Flair. And just beforehand, we had a backstage promo with Charlotte, who I must say is very comfortable in her heel role. She's See, when she was a face, I couldn't stand her. She didn't look believable. She didn't look comfortable. She didn't look the part. Her wrestling sucked when she was a face, if I made a mistake and said heel. But when she was a face, yes. Now as a heel, she is just shining with confidence. Absolutely shining with confidence. And I like this type of Charlotte. So before the match even starts, even during Charlotte's entrance music, out comes Becky to attack her. They fight and they fight and they fight. Mainly Becky getting the heat on Charlotte there. And by the time she gets out, Ric Flair declares that this match is not going to happen with her and Brie because Charlotte is in no condition to wrestle. So fuck all of you. And that's good heat, man. That's a good way to build up some heat for Charlotte. Good way to start getting guys behind Becky. Showing that spunk that Becky has. Becky's in there screaming, I'm going to take your title and I'm going to take your arm. You know, because she does the disarmor. You know, that's her whole thing. She works the arm. You know, she's Wes Briscoe. And I just like the fact that we're finally getting a real feud that has real story, that has real build-up. Finally, in the Divas division, we get at least one storyline. And this has been building for a long time now, dating back to Paige, who could technically still tie into this whole thing. She's not going to, but she could. She could. And then after that, we have the whole Roman Reigns match that I already talked about. So that's the entire Raw review in a nutshell. I hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like on it if you did. Subscribe. I don't even want to say subscribe, but you can. You can. We do this every Monday. For our weekly podcast, Clean Finish Podcast, that is, you can subscribe to Clean Finish Podcast on YouTube. It's not on this channel. Clean Finish Podcast has its own channel where we do a weekly podcast every Thursday to talk about everything wrestling that we can. Hope to see you guys there on Thursday where we do our live reviews and talks and everything and shooting the shit. And that's all I have for this one. Bye.